Well, I'm running two generators on myself, actually Rife generators, using the Spooky remote, and I'm going to explain why I'm doing this. Anyway, I got more stuff coming. This one generator only has one remote holder on it, and I'm running a spectrum sweep, and this is one of the few things you actually have to put the values in for the spectrum sweep. You have to put a 96 here and 100 for the percent under the percentage sweep, and you also have to change the sine wave to sine wave. But see, there's two generators. I'll probably get a third and more remotes and other things and stuff. But actually, I want to put this out because I think this is the best thing since the invention of electricity itself. I mean, and whatever, it's probably going to fall on deaf ears for all I know. But anyway, the other remote is running a series of other frequencies for other things at the same time on myself. And actually I mark like the DNA holders when I got it, like that's April when I put them in there and stuff. So you can see, switching back, this is the converge, not the converge, the spectrum sweep. The converge sweep requires two of these remotes. The spectrum, you can use one, better to use two, but I got more stuff coming, so I've got to wait for it. I don't expect to get more, but I'm totally convinced on this. And I want to actually tell you a few things about, some of my, I guess it's subjective experience on this. Subjective. But anyway, you can see here's one program running. This is actually running some other stuff. I'm going to explain why I'm using two generators, but they're inexpensive enough, and I'm going to actually give you my layman's opinion on this and what I've actually experienced subjectively. Two Rife generators there running the Spooky remote, which is, it uses a DNA holder and it transmits the frequencies to your DNA. Now, the reason I'm running two devices is that I'm running one for trying to, hit the microbes or whatever it is. One that's actually a major broad sweep that I guess it's a theory, I don't know. I mean, it's probably pure science that it's going to run every frequency, but is that actually going to knock out how much percentage of microbes? I don't know. I mean, really, people are just going to have to use it and find out. But as far as like the hard science behind it, when it runs that broad sweep, spectrum sweep, it does hit like all the frequencies. Now, the whole other side of it is, how much is that going to have an effect on microbes? Well, people are just going to have to test and find out. But I just want to point out that I'm running on one generator. Then on the other generator, I'm running a series of detoxification sets, because the theory is, as you knock out the microbes, you're going to get toxins in your body from, exploding a microbe or whatever. I'm not totally up on this, but let me put it in simple layman's terms, that as you, like say for instance, a mouse died, the mouse doesn't like give off toxins till it dies, and if you have a little mouse in your office or something like that and it dies, the whole office has to be cleared out because of the toxic smell. It's kind of like that. So as you knock out microbes, theoretically, with using the sweep, you want to remove the toxins. So I'm running a series of programs that will detoxify on the other generator at the same time. Now, I'm going to say something with my experience on this, and I've only been using this a couple weeks now, but I ran the convert sweep and also the sweep that was in the program before that to hit all the microbes on this Rife machine, using the remote device, the DNA remote device. Now, I'm going to say I was surprised about something, and I says, there must be, maybe it's a cause-effect relationship, but I was very sore in the bottom of the lower part of my legs, and I'm like, where the hell did that come out from? I said, why did that happen? Then I was like sore in my back, it was sore in my abs, and I was like, why am I so sore in my muscles and stuff? And I says, usually that's from lactic acid, from doing a lot of exercise. Now I do like exercise every day, but it's like I don't go all out, and I don't really get like soreness. It's like just kind of like, easy cardio stuff, right? And I started thinking possibly it was because I didn't drink enough water, because if you don't drink enough water, your muscles feel like sore. I said, man, I'm drinking plenty of water. Then it dawned upon me, I was running all these sweeps, consecutively with and allegedly knock out microbes. I'm going to say allegedly because I can't put out that there's proof, but I think it does work, okay? But, I don't want to knock it. I don't want to say it does knock out microbes and make this big claim out here, but I think it probably does. But if it was knocking out the microbes, what's going on is there's toxins being built up in your body, and that probably explains the muscular soreness. I was like so sore I didn't even work out one day, and I was like, damn, man. And it dawned on me, it says I should be running detox free programs. So I start running those, and I felt better. Maybe just the soreness went away, you could say. I don't know if you don't believe it or not, but I felt better, okay? And so I'm running, at the same time I'm running the sweep, I'm running the detox program. So basically, if you run a a Rife sweep, we'll call it a Rife sweep, using the DNA holders, and the word term spooky is applicable to this because it's really strange how it can transmit the frequencies from the DNA that's in the holder to your body, by magic or something. Quantum entanglement actually is the word, but that's what's going on. That's probably a very good word for that because it's weird how that works. It's like if you think about it, you're like, it just seems crazy that it works. But it's just one of those principles of physics or nature or whatever the heck it is, and it seems to work. But so you should be running, like if you're running like sweeps like that and say you're knocking out, let's say it is in fact knocking out a certain percentage of pathogens, you would want to run the detox frequencies immediately thereafter or even at the same time. So I'm running them at the same time. That's what I'm doing. And I've also, the remote feature supposedly is not as fast as the contact mode where you're actually physically in contact with the electricity, where it permeates through the skin and goes through the body. It doesn't work as quick. In other words, it takes, I don't really know, I think it's like several times as long to actually work the effectiveness of contact mode. Maybe it's, 4 to 7 hours of remote equals 1 hour of contact or something. I don't think anybody really knows exactly, but I want to point that out but the thing is, I want to point out that you actually have to do the remote mode longer than you would have to do the contact mode. But it's convenient. You don't have to be attached to a machine by wires or close to it or anything like that. That's the big freaking advantage, and that's why, in my opinion, this is like the biggest discovery since electricity. It's fantastic. And this is actually, the way this Rife is out, it's almost like Henry Ford putting out the automobile. It's analogous to that. I mean, the automobile was out for a while, but nobody could afford it, right? That was the problem, right? That was the problem. And what happened when Henry Ford? He found a way with mass production or better ways to make the same widget that it was affordable to people, and that's what's going on with this Rife technology. So that's why I think it's great. Now, unfortunately, people are too wrapped up in Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus and things like that to pay attention to this type of stuff. But that's up to them. I mean, I know that's just how people are. I mean, it's like entertainment to the max. Now, I tell you the truth, if they ever had a Hollywood personality out there that was like 80 years old and they looked, acted, and were able to perform physically exactly, and they actually had the appearance of a 20-year-old because they're using some high-end technology, I'm sure the whole planet would jump on board then. That's pretty much how it works, right? People are a little bit vain sometimes, but that's exactly how it works. But this does have a lot of applications, I guess, because not only is it I'll say allegedly, although I think it's an absolute fact, but I'll say allegedly just to be not be controversial or whatever. Let's call it experimental. But allegedly, it's got the capability of pretty much knocking out every microbe there is. But on the flip side, it's got the other capabilities of maybe bringing up cellular vibrations up to their optimal, which you would think that would make you healthy or extend your life, or who knows how long that would improve your overall well-being. So it's got a lot of capabilities. And actually, even though this became much more affordable, much more powerful, and much more versatile, it's still in its infancy. It's probably going to keep going and going and going. But I want to put this out here because, you know, there is big money in the pharmaceutical area. It may be, I'll put it that way, it may be that this is the wave of the future. This whole thing. Like, in other words, chemicals won't be the way to influence the body to try to make it well or conquer disease. It may be with frequencies. It may be with electricity. It may be with microelectricity and whatever, or other forces that we don't even see that actually heal the body. I mean, yeah, there's other things out there, they say that, you know, energies that we actually can't actually measure that are actually in nature, like they call it the ether, you know, the life-giving ether, you know. That may be getting a little way out there, but, you know, it's probably still a fact. But if you could actually influence or channel more of that into the body, that could actually extend your life maybe, or make you live longer, or the same thing I just said, but it's also, or be more alert, vibrant, you know, and, you know, more healthy in every respect. So, you know, people, the people will not actually get on this, though, I guess, unless a Hollywood personality jumps aboard. But it has to be where I think this technology will be safe, where, you know, the powers that be or whatever that maybe are very entrenched in the pharmaceutical area, because the pharmaceutical area actually is the second largest industry in the United States, behind the oil industry and the energy industry. It's the medical pharmaceutical industry. If this actually becomes a threat to that, they're going to try to do things, I'd imagine. But what I want to do is, like, what we really need is not just thousands of people into this and getting positive results out of it. We need tens of millions or hundreds of millions of people into this. We don't need just thousands. We need tens of millions at a minimum. And I am trying to be very honest and very accurate in my evaluation of this. I think it's dead on accurate to say, in my opinion, that this has the potentiality to pretty much heal the body of any problem there could be, and actually make the body stronger, even if you have no disease or any problem like that. I think it definitely has that potential. That's my opinion, and that's one reason I'm very much sold on this. So it's an honest evaluation. And again, I want to say I have absolutely no financial connection with this. I'm not selling it. Like, I'll provide a link as to where you can go and see the information and where to buy it, but I am not financially connected to this at all. At all. Not even in the least. I just am totally convinced that this may be the best invention since probably the widespread use of electricity. And it's going to overturn some industries if it actually works as good as I think, and they probably won't like that. But overall, you know, people on the top that are in the pharmaceutical industry will actually overcome and adapt, and then once they embrace this, they will improve upon this and make it even more fine-tuned, where, you know, they can even do more. Who knows? Hopefully it's all for the purposes of good versus bad, because I guess there's anything technology, there's always the potential to have bad too, right? There's always a flip side to something. But anyway, I just hope the right people get a hold of this and grab the bull by the horns. And, you know, maybe this isn't for the masses. Maybe it's not. But in my opinion, This is the best damn thing going, and I'm using 2 generators for a specific reason. Like I said, I'm running detox on one, and the other one I'm running a broad range sweep. And I'm probably going to get a 3rd generator too. So that's how convinced I am on this. So anyway, over and out. I just want to report some of my results. If you run broad range sweeps, you should run detoxification sets, because if this thing is actually, I think it actually is knocking out pathogens. I just want to also state that I've been using the Bob Beck blood electrifier pretty much every day for, I don't know, several hours a day for years, and I think that actually is an extremely helpful device, in some ways. But what it does is it helps to, what it is, it's supposed to actually stop the replication or slow down the replication of pathogens in the blood. But your body actually has several times more lymph fluid than it does blood. Plus, there's the area of the intestines and the area of the nerves and everything else where there is not much blood flow and where pathogens can be. Now, with this Spooky Rife device, it's actually getting in the DNA of all the cells, from my understanding. So, I probably felt a pretty good, strong reaction to it after running some sweeps, because it knocked out pathogens in the lymph system. So it's more powerful. I just want to put it to you that way. And potentiality there is for this is actually probably far beyond with knocking out pathogens. It's probably because, like I stated before in one of the videos, it has ways where it can transmit the frequencies of essential oils and vitamins and other healthy things that may bring it up the frequencies of the cells themselves, and make you healthier. But there's no Hollywood endorsement on this, but maybe someday there will be. Who knows?